Hey guys, good Sunday evening. Good to see y'all in here. Hope you guys have had a blessed week, blessed weekend. You guys got to overlook me. Still talking kind of funny. I'm having a lot of problems with all of this, so I hope I make it 2 hours. Things aren't working out the way they should, and I'm going to have to go back hopefully tomorrow. Let's see what we got in here this evening. I've missed you guys a lot this week. See, True American Loretta, Five Virgins Prepper, Cat Lady. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Joe Morgan. Good to see you. Alley Cat. Good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. B&B Home. Good to see you guys. Maimed Legacy. Good to see you. Flow Grown Homesteader. Good to see you as always. James Davis. Good to see you. Papa's Teachings name change. Congrats getting learnt with Papa. I should have done that. Getting learnt with Papa. I did do Papa's Learnings, but I don't know. I couldn't make up my mind. Last minute I went with this. Hey Ashley, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Well, my chat just flew by. Renee says, good evening. I'm new here. Well, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. We're here every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our Bible study, so to speak. But thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. Anna W., good to see you. Bear Wilkie, good to see you. Smile for us. I still look weird because they're swollen. And I have like a shh when I talk still because my gums are wrecked, guys. That's why I've got to go back like immediately. They done something wrong to me or something. Hey, Diabetic Prepper, good to see you. Well, thank you very much, Barry. You didn't have to do that, man. I appreciate it. Chris Pyatt, good to see you. Tamara Reynolds. Dude, I found a Dead Kennedy song that will scare you. They predicted the future. That's probably what you sent to me right before I went live. I'll have to check it out, man. There's a lot of weird stuff like that. Like, I know The Simpsons is one of the most notorious for a lot of the past episodes. They predicted the future like to a T, even Donald Trump being president. It's kind of creepy. Thanks, Loretta. I couldn't decide on which hat to go with tonight, so I hadn't worn this one forever. This week has been slow, like almost spooky quiet. KY Survival, good to see you. I didn't do the dentures while gums were bloody. I waited a year to get mine. No pain, better fit. Well, I go back in, well, they told me I'd have to come back and get these lined and everything, but it's just under my tongue. I mean, it is like bruised bad. And the sides of my gum on this side, like the outside where I didn't even have a tooth, it's rubbing really bad. And I've not had them in all day. I put them in to go live, to be honest with you. Can't eat with them in. Because where the teeth were pulled doesn't even hurt. It's everywhere else. It's really weird. Let's see. 11 Republicans signed off on the debt ceiling deal. There's a reason it's been quiet. My dear heart got hit the same day they pulled his. That's what I did. This is a temporary set. Um, and then 8 months to a year, I get my fitted, like, after all the swelling's down. And excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely taking some getting used to. I agree, KY. Because, see, my top are fake too, okay? But I've had those for, see, I was blessed with very bad teeth. And so I've had top ones for over 10 years. And if we're at home, it's something that I want to like taste really good, like steak or something. I will take mine out if we're at home and eat because it does. Everything tastes so much different with them in. Same way, Mames. They actually made me because my gums had shrank so much because I was still wearing the temporaries that they had to make me a new temporary top plate to match the bottom ones. So everything wouldn't be all misproportioned and I have a great big underbite. And so be careful, Papa. They're going to sneak the vax on you and tell you it's Novocaine. I wouldn't doubt it comes to something like that. So, yeah, if you guys notice me like making weird things with my mouth and like I'm not on drugs, I promise. I'm just trying to get used to this. So, we got any praise reports for this week? Um, Obviously, I mean, I got my teeth taken care of before I don't have insurance. So, that's my, I mean, it hurts right now, but in the long run, it's going to be better for me. um, Hello, Faith. Good to see you. Thank you for being in here this evening. God is absolutely good, Five. I had mine removed 14 years ago, $30,000, and still can't wear them. They say my gums are shrinking. My top gums have shrank a lot. I hadn't noticed how much until they made me this set the other day. And like, I don't even have to use adhesive on them. They like suction to the roof of my mouth because the other ones were so big. Praise. Faith finished radiation and we can start our next step Tuesday. That's awesome, Ashley. Good job, Faith. Good job. Heard today a couple kids went for the flu punch, got the C punch by mistake. Now have heart problems. Oldest is just 5. Mm-mm-mm. I'm getting new across the street neighbors, Nana P and Tim the Beer. Really? That's cool. Instant Mag. Mr. B survived and I'm glad to have him here today. He goes back to Mark. That's awesome. Hey, yeah, good to see you. Warm salt water. I've been doing that. Mandy found me some stuff over. It's by Oral B. It's really working. It takes a lot of the pain out. It's a mouthwash for this kind of stuff. It takes a lot of the pain out. But yeah, I've been doing the warm salt water and old times prepping. Suggested warm salt water with lemon juice, and I've done that too. Excuse me. Papa, did you see my pray? I did not. Loretta, hold on just a second. Let me go back up here. Oh, the pneumonia's gone. That's awesome, Loretta. Very good. Deanna Walters, good to see you. Papa Prepper, we lost our friend from the COVID. Oh, I'm sorry, Deanna. Sorry to hear that. If you can handle it, it burns, but rinse mouth with whiskey and shine will help with pain. I've done that in the past with toothaches. It absolutely helps. That first little sting about make you wet yourself, but it does it definitely dulls it. Liquid Lanacane mouthwash is great. I'll have to look for that. Thank you, Alley Cat. Yeah, and booze is good on teeth pain. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to get into this. Then we can kind of catch up and chat here in a little bit. But I do want to get the reading started so people aren't staying up late waiting. Um, can anybody correct me if I'm wrong? But we are on chapter 11, correct? Oh, thanks. Did you listen to your song, Papa? I must not have, Five. If it was something you sent, I mean, that's usually when you asked. Okay. All right, then. Get one more drink real quick. I need a bigger desk. Okay. Now, this is Zophar's first response to Job. We've already heard his first friends plead his case to him of how he has to have done something wrong. He needs to repent. God doesn't punish the unwicked, not knowing the whole story. They're judging Job, basically. Papa, did you see the photo I sent you about my raffle tickets? No, I did not. Mames, is it in Discord or email? Warm black tea is one of my go-to. Also, a cheap bottle of whiskey to switch around isn't bad. Something like R&R is only $7 for a fifth here. Right. I think our cheapest here is early times. And all right, I will check it out, Mames. I apologize. I didn't see that. Okay. So this is as far as what he decides he needs to tell Job. So this is Job chapter 11. Then Zophar the Namathite replied to Job, "Shouldn't someone answer this torrent of words? Is a person proved innocent just by a lot of talk? Should I remain silent while you babble on? When you mock God, shouldn't someone make you ashamed? You claim my beliefs are pure." Hold on, guys. I thought something was a little off. um, you claim my beliefs are pure and I am clean in the sight of God. If only God would speak. If only he would tell you what he thinks. If only he would tell you secrets of wisdom, for true wisdom is not a simple matter. Listen, God is doubtless punishing you far less than you deserve. Can you solve the mysteries of God? Can you discover everything about the Almighty? Such knowledge is higher than the heavens, and who are you? It is deeper than the underworld. What do you know? It is broader than the earth and wider than the sea. If God comes and puts a person in prison or calls the court to order, who can stop him? For he knows those who are false, and he takes note of all their sins. An empty headed person won't become wise any more than a wild donkey can bear a human child. If only you would prepare your heart and lift up your hands to him in prayer, get rid of your sins and leave all iniquity behind you. Then your face will brighten with innocence. You will be strong and free of fear. You will forget your misery. It will be like water flowing away. Your life will be brighter than the noonday. Even the darkness will be as bright as morning. Having hope will give you courage. You will be protected and will rest in safety. You will lie down unafraid, and many will look to you for help. But the wicked will be blinded. They will have no escape. Their only hope is death. So see, he's doing the same thing. He automatically Job's got to be guilty. He's had to have sinned. He's done something wrong. And the sooner he admits it, the sooner God will show mercy on him. We'll jump down here to the notes. Zophar is the third of Job's friends to speak. Third. I guess it was the third, my bad. And the least courteous. Full of anger, he lashed out at Job, saying that Job deserved more punishment, not less. Zophar took the same position as Eliphaz and Bildad, that Job was suffering because of his own sin, but Zophar's speech was by far the most arrogant. Excuse me. Zophar was the kind of person who has an answer for everything. He was totally insensitive to Job's unique situation. By referring to Job as false, Zophar was accusing him of hiding secret faults and sins. Although Zophar's assumption was wrong, he explained quite accurately that God knows and sees everything. We are often tempted by the thought no one will ever know. Perhaps we can hide some sin from other people, but we can hide nothing from God, because our very thoughts are known to God. Of course, he will notice our sins. Job understood this as well as Zophar did, but it didn't apply to his current dilemma. Jump over here for a minute. Hey, Marine, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. Widgets World, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Did I miss anybody else sneaking in? I don't think so. God sees everything, absolutely. He knows what we're going to do before we even do it. Absolutely, 5. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into chapter 12. And this is Job's fourth speech, a response to Zophar. Chapter 12. And you people really know everything, don't you? And when you die, wisdom will die with you. Well, I know a few things myself, and you're no better than I am. Who doesn't know these things you've been saying? Yet my friends laugh at me, for I am a just and blameless man, yet they laugh at me. People who are at ease mock those in trouble. They give a push to people who are stumbling, but robbers are left in peace, and those who provoke God live in safety, though God keeps them in his power. Just ask the animals, and they will teach you. Ask the birds of the sky, and they will tell you. Speak to the earth, and it will instruct you. Let the fish in the sea speak to you, for they all know that my disaster has come from the hand of the Lord. For the life of every living thing is in his hand, and the breath of every human being. The ear tests the words it hears, just as the mouth distinguishes between foods. Wisdom belongs to the aged, and understanding to the old. But true wisdom and power are found in God. Hold on. But true wisdom and power are found in God. Counsel and understanding are his. What he destroys cannot be rebuilt. When he puts someone in prison, there is no escape. If he holds back the rain, the earth becomes a desert. If he releases the water, they flood the earth. Yes, strength and wisdom are his. Deceived are both in his power. He leads counselors away, stripped of good judgment. Wise judges become fools. He removes the loyal robe of kings. They are led away with ropes around their waist. He leads priests away, stripped of status. He overthrows He overthrows those with long years in power. He silences the trusted advisor and removes the insight of the elders. He pours disgrace upon princes and disarms the strong. He uncovers mysteries hidden in darkness. He brings light to the deepest gloom. He builds up nations and destroys them. He expands nations and he abandons them. He strips kings of understanding and leaves them wandering in a pathless wasteland. They grope in the darkness without a light. He makes them stagger like drunkards. And that is chapter 12. Come back here to our notes. Job answered Zephar's argument with great sarcasm. Wisdom will die with you. He went on to say that his three friends didn't need to explain God to him. They were saying nothing he didn't already know. Job continued to maintain that his friends had completely misunderstood the reason for his suffering. Job did not know the reason either, but he was certain that his friends' reasons were both narrow-minded and incorrect. Once again, Job appealed to God to give him an answer. Job affirmed that no leader has any real wisdom apart from God. No research or report can outweigh God's opinion. No scientific discovery or medical advance takes him by surprise. No computer or artificial intelligent robot catches him off guard. No initiative, form of government, or public policy makes him stop to think. When we look for guidance for our decisions, we must recognize that God's wisdom is superior to any the world has to offer. Don't let earthly advisors dampen your desire to know God better. That's absolutely true. Hey, Klingon, good to see you. Don Bellaman, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Carry me away, good to see you. Miss anybody else here? No. Hey, Northern Girl, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Amen, 5. A lot of people think it's just that little annoying voice in the back of your head, but I absolutely believe that when I'm in the wrong or I'm fixing to do wrong, that little annoying voice is not just little voice. It's the biggest voice you'll ever hear. Hey, yeah, Northern girl, I heard you got your first bird. Congratulations. I've never hunted fowl. Well, turkey, but like I've never done pheasant or quail or anything like that. So that's really cool. Now look out, Joe Morgan. You're in a room full of wives, mothers, and girlfriends. And I ain't going to agree with you because mine's probably watching. Hold on, did I miss something here? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dawn. Mm, 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 mm. I couldn't imagine. She's got her two birds. That's awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into chapter 4 or hold on a second. 13. How about that? This is titled Job Wants to Argue His Case with God. Job chapter 13. Let me grab a drink. Okay. Job wants to argue his case with God. Look, I have seen all this with my own eyes and heard it with my own ears, and now I understand. I know as much as you do. You are no better than I am. As for me, I would speak directly to the Almighty. I want to argue my case with God Himself. As for you, you smear me with lies. As physicians, you are worthless quacks. If only you could be silent. That's the wisest thing you could do. Listen to my charge. Pay attention to my arguments. Are you defending God with lies? Do you make your dishonest argument for His sake? Will you slant your testimony in His favor? Will you argue God's case for Him? What will happen when He finds out what you are doing? Can you fool Him as easily as you fool people? No, you will be in trouble with Him if you secretly slant your testimony in His favor. Doesn't His majesty terrify you? Doesn't your fear of Him overwhelm you? Your platitudes are as valuable as ashes. Your defense is as fragile as a clay pot. Be silent now and leave me alone. Let me speak, and I will face the consequences. Why should I put myself in mortal danger and take my life in my own hands? God might kill me, but I have no other hope. I'm going to argue my case with Him, but this is what will save me. I am not godless. If I were, I could not stand before Him. Listen closely to what I'm about to say. Hear me out. I have prepared my case. I will be proved innocent. Who can argue with me over this? And if you prove me wrong, I will remain silent and die. O God, grant me these two things, and then I will be able to face you. Remove your heavy hand from me, and don't terrify me with your awesome presence. Now summon me, and I will answer. Or let me speak to you, and you reply. Tell me, what have I done wrong? Show me my rebellion and my sin. Why do you turn away from me? Why do you treat me as an enemy? Would you terrify a leaf blown by the wind? Would you chase dry straw? You write bitter accusations against me and bring all the sins of my youth, and you put my feet in stocks and examine all my paths. You trace all my footprints. I waste away like rotting wood, like a moth-eaten cloth, like a moth-eaten coat. And that's chapter 13. So what kind of, I mean, for his friends, to sit there and listen to this. And clearly the man knows in his heart of hearts he has done nothing wrong. He knows that he has not given God any reason to do these things to him. And he's just wanting them to realize that. And, he's just wanting his fair shot. Let me prove this. So we'll jump down here to the notes. Job compared his three friends to physicians who did not know what they were doing. They were like eye surgeons to perform open heart surgery. Many of their ideas about God were true, but they did not apply to Job's situation. They were right to say that God is just. They were right to say that God punishes sin. But they were wrong to assume that Job's suffering was just punishment for his sin. They took a true principle and applied it wrongly, ignoring the vast differences in human circumstances. We must be careful and compassionate in how we apply biblical condemnations to others. We must be slow to judge. We're going to go on to chapter 14. How frail is humanity? How short is life? How full of trouble? We blossom like a flower and then wither like a passing shadow. We quickly disappear. Sorry, guys. Actually, I'm glad this came right now. Um, from a really good source here. Augustin Farms shutting down 90 days for inventory. Just heard it. Claim they are running short on materials. Me and Mandy was just talking about this not even 2 hours ago because we were thinking about making an order, and stuff that was like on sale for $9 and $10 a can has now jumped up to almost $30 a can. And she was telling me basically the same thing, that she had read it, and now I just got the text that they're shutting down for 90 days for inventory. Claims they're running short on materials. It's coming, y'all. It is coming. And that right there, that kind of thing is why I'm very adamant that if people are not prepping and putting food away and water and such, you're out of time. Um, because I'm sure they won't be the only ones, you know. And because think about all the crops that were destroyed this year, and I mean, yeah, that's all freeze dried food, but all that food comes from somewhere, not grit or process it or whatever. I mean, it's falling apart quick, very quickly. Sorry about that. I'll get back into this. I didn't mean to get off on a little tangent. Um, I'll just start 14 over. How frail is humanity? How short is life? How full of trouble? We blossom like a flower and then wither like a passing shadow. We quickly disappear. Must you keep an eye on such a frail creature and demand an accounting from me? Who can bring purity out of an impure person? No one. You have decided the length of our lives. You know how many months we will live, and we are not given a minute longer. So leave us alone and let us rest. We are like hired hands, so let us finish our work in peace. Even a tree has more hope. If it gets cut down, it will sprout again and grow new branches, though its roots have grown old in the earth and its stump decays. At the scent of water, it will bud and sprout again like a new seedling. But when people die, their strength is gone. They breathe their last, and then where are they? As water evaporates from a lake and a river disappears in drought, people are laid to rest and do not rise again until the heavens are no more. They will not wake up nor be roused from their sleep. I wish you would hide me in the grave and forget me there until your anger has passed. But mark your calendar to think of me again. Can the dead live again? If so, this would give me hope through all my years of struggle, and I would eagerly await the release of death. You would call and I would answer, and you would yearn for me, your handiwork. For when for then you would guard my steps instead of watching for my sins. My sins would be sealed in a pouch, and you would cover my guilt. But instead, as mountains fall and crumble, and as rocks fall from a cliff, as water wears away the stones and flood washes away the soil, so do you destroy people's hope. You always overpower them, and they pass from the scene. You disfigure them in death and send them away. They never know if their children grow up in honor or sink to insignificance. They suffer painfully. Their life is full of trouble. Hey, James, good to see you. Arkansas living, good to see you. Thank you for being here, man. Red Dawn, good to see you. Thank you for being here. We'll jump down here to my notes. Life is brief and full of trouble. Job laments in his closing remarks to this first round of conversation. Sickness, loneliness, disappointment, and death caused Job to say that life is not fair. Some understand Job to mean that, even in his gloom, Job hoped for the resurrection of the dead. If this is true, then Job understood the one truth that could put his suffering in perspective. God's solution to believers who live in an unfair world is to guarantee life with them forever. No matter how unfair your present world seems, God offers the hope of being in his presence eternally. Have you accepted this offer? The Old Testament does not say much about the resurrection of the dead. This is not surprising because Jesus had not yet conquered death. Job's pessimisms about death is understandable. What is remarkable is his budding hope. If only God would hide him in the dead and then bring him out again. If only he could die and live again. When we must endure suffering, we have an advantage over Job. We know that the dead will rise. Christ rose, and we have hope based on his promise in John chapter 14, verse 19. Job's profound speech in this chapter illustrates a great truth. Knowing the right set of doctrines is not enough. To know what to believe in, not all that is required to please God. Truth untested by life's experiences may become static and stagnant. Suffering can bring a dynamic quality to life that calm cannot. Just as drought drives the roots of a tree deeper to find water, suffering can drive us beyond superficial acceptance of truth to dependence on God for hope and life. And that's why, you see a lot of Christians, they're all about church and praising God and everything when their life's going perfect. When life couldn't be better. They have money, they have good health, their family is in good standing, a good name in the community. But you let tragedy strike, and God's is the first one they're going to blame, the first one they're going to question. Um, it never fails. Hey, Sherry, good to see you. Jennifer, good to see you. You people are the backbone of America. Well, thank you, Red Dawn. Appreciate that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and jump in chapter 15. That's where I'll probably stop tonight. And then we can just kind of chat and catch up or whatever you guys want to do. Hey, James, good to see you, man. Two birds today for us. Happy Thanksgiving. That's awesome. Beautiful copperhead, huh? That's well, that and a rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes are getting bad here. They released several of them out in our national forestry to kind of repopulate. Yeah, it worked. This goes along with our message we learned in church this morning about how people go about their lives like they're fully in charge, and then when things go badly, first thing is to blame God. Absolutely. And good to see you, Mary. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. But yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, that he's the first one. Takes takes the brunt force of all the blame. I agree with that statement, Joe Morgan. Rattlesnakes are good for one thing: hat bands or boots. I guess that's two things. Tommy, we had an outbreak of large spiders on the farm. They're gone now. See, that's one thing. I'll mess with snakes. I love snakes. I'll play with snakes, whatever. Spiders. I'm not scared of them, but they freak me out. Like, I just can't do spiders. So I'm not scared of them. I don't care to, you know, get rid of them, whatever. But so then, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I will vomit you out of my mouth. That is absolutely right. Church service was great this morning. We had Guy Penrod and Mark Lowry. I like Mark Lowry. Right, Tommy. I can't handle spiders. Had to burn all the hay bales and clear all the barns and building. Whew, that's a big loss. All right. We'll get back into this. Eliphaz's second response to Job. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, "A wise man wouldn't answer with such empty talk. You are nothing but a windbag. The wise don't engage in empty chatter. What good are such words? Have you no fear of God, no reverence for him? Your sins are telling your mouth what to say. Your words are based on clever deception. Your own mouth condemns you, not I. Your own lips testify against you. When you were Were you the first person ever born? Were you born before the hills were made? Were you listening to God's secret counsel? Do you have a monopoly on wisdom? What do you know that we don't? What do you understand that we do not? On our side are aged, gray haired men, much older than your father. Is God's comfort too little for you? Is his gentle word not enough? Has he taken. Oops, just a second. What has taken away your reason? What has weakened your vision and turned you against God and say all these evil things? Can any mortal be pure? Can anyone born of a woman be just? Look, God does not even trust his angels. Even the heavens are not absolutely pure in his sight. How much less pure is a corrupt and sinful person with a thirst for wickedness? If you listen, if you will listen, I will show you. I will answer you from my own experience. And it is confirmed by the reports of wise men who have heard the same thing from their fathers, from those to whom the land was given long before any foreigners arrived. The wicked writhe in pain throughout their lives. Years of troubles are stored up for the ruthless. The sound of terror rings in their ears, and even on good days they fear the attack of the destroyer. They dare not go out into the darkness for fear they will be murdered. They wander around saying, "Where can I find bread?" and know their day of destruction is near. That dark day terrifies them. They live in distress and anguish, like a king preparing for battle. For they shake their fists at God, defying the Almighty. Holding their strong shields, they defiantly charge against him. These wicked people are heavy and prosperous. Their waists bulge with fat, but their cities will be ruined. They will live in abandoned houses that are ready to tumble down. Their riches will be lost, and their wealth will not endure. Their possessions will no longer spread across the horizon. They will not escape the darkness. The burning sun will wither without shoots, and the breath of God will destroy them. Let them no longer fool themselves by trusting in empty riches, for emptiness will be their only reward. They will cut down in the prime of life. They will be cut down in the prime of life. Their branches will never again be green. They will be like a vine whose grapes are harvested too early, like an olive tree that loses its blossoms before the fruit can form, for the godless are barren. Their homes enriched through bribery will burn. They conceive trouble and give birth to evil. Their womb produces deceit. And that is chapter 15. And I'll say again, his friends here, they're not saying anything really wrong. They're just wrong because they're judging Job. Because everything else, they're absolutely right. Jump down to the notes here. With the first round of talk concluded, each friend in the same order pressed his argument further. Again, Job answered each argument. This time, Eliphaz was more rude, more intense, and more threatening, but he said nothing new. He began by saying that Job's words were empty and useless. Then he related his opinion that Job must be a great sinner. According to Eliphaz, the experience and wisdom of their ancestors were more valuable than Job's individual thoughts. Eliphaz assumed that his words were as true as God's. It is easy to spot his arrogance. Even the heavens are not absolutely pure in his sight. Eliphaz was repeating his argument that anything created, including angels and people, is not a sufficient basis for trust and hope. Only in God can we have certainty. And again, that's absolutely true. God is definitely consistent. He's the first, the last, Alpha, the Omega, the beginning, the end. It don't get more consistent than that, guys. And that is where I'm going to stop tonight. I'll cruise up here for a minute and see if I missed anything. Susie D, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I think it's pointless to try. Nothing we do is good enough. I'm not going to let others' beliefs rob the joy in my life. Well, and now, Joe, to me, you're already on the right track by not letting, that's something that I dealt with a lot is, people cannot beat their faith into you. They can't. I mean, people can pray for you. Absolutely. You know, um, but people writing, trying to convince you, basically, or not convince. Um, you know what I mean. So that to me, not letting other people get to you. That's what I had. That was one of my first things I had to do because it does get old. Like I said, people can pray for you, pray with you, but just repeatedly, it does no good because that turns a lot of people off to any kind of, um, and that might just be my way of thinking, but I went through that. Let's see. Hey, Ark Wild Man, good to see you. Thank you, Bear. I appreciate that. Scroll down through here. I mean, the stuff that others say, like, oh, you can't do this or thing. Different religions have different ideas about what is what. Wasn't at anyone's. Okay, I got you. This phone won't ring all day, but the second I tune into this show, it turns into Jerry's telethon. I have those days sometimes. Having a slow day at work, nothing happens, but as soon as you get busy, that phone starts blowing up. Everybody's come to Jesus boils down to the two of them having a one-to-one talk. That's absolutely right. Like, for example, the Mormons frown upon drinking, yet Catholics in Northern Ireland would disagree. That is true. See, that's why I don't get into, different denominations. And I mean, I know God. I know I love him. He loves me. He doesn't love everything I do, clearly. Um, then to me, well, I'm not going to get into that. That could cause that could cause problems. um, but I don't like religion. I do not like denominations. I love God, and He's my best friend. I I don't, and it don't matter. You can call yourself whatever you want, but if you don't have the love and understanding, it don't matter. I think that's why I can't get into religion, because it doesn't matter really what denomination you even read or study into. There, in every one of them, there'll be something that'll be, you'll find yourself reading it like, that don't sound right. That don't, no. And it don't matter what denomination, but if you just follow your heart, read your Bible, and you're going to end up where you need to be. I by no means know it all. Nobody does, but I'm here to answer what I can with what I know. I'm Southern Baptist. If you're not, then you're wrong. LOL. I'll go to any church that preaches God's word correctly. Absolutely. We all fall short of the glory of God, Tommy, but He loves us all anyway, and it doesn't matter to God what church you go to. And I absolutely believe that. Joel Osteen. That dude is, only thing he is an overpaid um, inspirational, like a self improvement type of dude. That's all he is to me. Now, that's my personal opinion. He's an overpaid um, self motivational speaker, whatever they're called. That's what he is. Yep. Overpaid motivational speaker. Absolutely. I've got Tupperware bowls with less plastic than Joel Osteen. Wait, what am I doing? Papa Prepper loves him best. What did I miss? Joe, I don't know where you come up with half of the stuff that comes out of your mouth or out of your fingers, however you want to look at it typing. Hey, Valerie, good to see you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Just can't. I just can't. Not with Joel Osteen. Mm-mm. Those gotta go. So somebody's stealing chickens. That's why we can't have nice things. Seriously, that's awful. Tornado in northern. Wow, that's crazy. Yes, 5. Absolutely. The church does not save, Jesus saves. Oh, another history guy. Clyde Barrow started out stealing chickens. Look what happened to him. Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry, James. I did not see it, brother. Let me look back up through here, man. I think we're having a repeat of a couple months ago when Coral Tigger was trying to post her prayer request. YouTube kept blocking it because, James, the only thing I see that you posted says, "Can you guys see me?" And that was the only thing that she was able to get through, was asking. Okay, and I just checking. I'll retype my prayer request. Now that I see. Keep scrolling here. I think they're blocking you, man. Because after you said I'll retype it, I see absolutely nothing until we get back down here to the bottom. I'm not showing it being held. Hey, Farmer Son Prepping, good to see you, and thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, nobody's seeing it. I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Coral. We went, and it was like 2 or 3 weeks straight. They kept messing with her. Just retyped it. It's not showing up, buddy. Is there any way you can maybe kind of reword it? Maybe it's something they're just not wanting to let through. I don't know. I don't like that at all. Just like situational awareness, we must also have spiritual awareness. If I sense evil, I go the other way. If the spirit inside me is bothered, then it's time to walk away. Absolutely. Yeah, I do have the slow mode. I got it on 30 seconds. I don't think I can change that. I don't think I can change that while the live stream's going. James, no, I didn't know anybody blocked you. That's weird though. If he just got blocked, James Davis can't get his prayer request to come through. I think we might be being watched. I have no doubt that I'm honestly surprised that they're not leaning on these types of gatherings online more heavily than they are. Trying to buy a motorhome before winter. Need. Okay. Get my handy dandy notebook here. About 20 minutes ago, I got kicked off of YouTube while watching this show. Nah, Joe's not doing it. I think it's just YouTube doing it. I've got you down, James. Sorry you had to go through all that to get your prayer request through. Oh, I'm sure there's some folks lurking, Five, without a shadow of a doubt. They could be doing to you what they did to John at Prepper Nation. They cleared his chat. I heard about that. No, man, you didn't do anything wrong. Nothing at all. It's just right. Give us your prayer request too, Todd, the Google mod. Bless your heart. Absolutely, Arkansas. Yeah, YouTube will prevent posts, and even the mods don't see it. They're control freaks. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Alert: if you are a troll and you interfere with God's word, you have a much bigger. Absolutely. But don't think it ain't coming. Oh, did Ark Wild Man get him a deer? I haven't even, this is our second weekend in deer season. I haven't even, it's just been too hot here. I mean, it's been last weekend, this weekend, it was like 85 today. And it was like that last weekend too. And I'm not going deer hunting when it's no 8 degrees. Well, that's awesome. Mandy, she was going to town yesterday or today, yesterday. Um, says she saw an 8 or 10 point right down the highway. Here, she said she slowed down because she thought it was a horse running up through the pasture. Then once it got close enough, she could tell it was a deer. That's a big 10 point or 8 point buck. I think it's a horse. Absolutely, man. Meat is meat. Hey, Big German, good to see you. You're buffering a little bit here too. Nothing bad though. And I don't know about spam. I've never seen it anywhere prove that spam is even meat. Independent Marine, gun or bow. Oh yeah, turkey season starts. I'm not sure when it starts here. It might be next weekend. Five, you will be happy to know that I got a hookup for good meat rabbits whenever I get my hutch built. I've already got somebody said they'd hook me up with a few to get me started. Have you figured out your portable hammer? I have not. Um, honestly, haven't taken the time to be 100% with you. I mean, I've got the cable. Supposedly, it's kind of pretty simple to do if you plug it into your computer and find the um, that website. But I just haven't taken time to do it. Excuse me. Okay, I've seen this so many times today, and I just have not taken the time to Google it or whatever. What is Let's Go, Brandon? I've missed something. I haven't been in the news at all this week. I haven't been doing anything as far as, YouTube or anything. What is Let's Go, Brandon? Somebody please enlighten me. I even asked the kid and she didn't know because I thought maybe it was a Instagram thing or Let's Go Brandon was what names changed F Joe Biden to. All right. Thank you, Farmer Son. I appreciate it. Okay. Gotcha. Students chanting Democrats here. Let's go, Brandon. Students were chanting F you, Joe Biden. All right. I got you. Let's go, Brandon. Just, I had to ask. They chanted F Joe Biden at NASCAR. The news said they were chanting Let's go, Brandon. That's awesome. Oh, do we need some Let's Go Brandon t shirts? Or hashtag Let's Go Brandon t shirts? Brandon won NASCAR, but crowd started the chant. Man, I haven't watched now. I used to love NASCAR until it became political, like everything else. I've seen a lot of places where they're chanting that. Not Let's Go Brandon, but the other. I mean, places you wouldn't even imagine. There's already a t shirt to say Let's Go Brandon. Oh, well. Hmm. Installing a new but old wood stove in house. Read headlines that said the heating oil supply is low. They had to take an extra news break at the beginning of the Texas A&M and Alabama game last night because the entire stadium was chanting F Biden. Yep, the gas prices for heating are supposed to rise. Energy crisis in China, Lebanon, and Puerto Rico, of course. Oh, they absolutely can't hide it. And it's happening anywhere there's a large gathering of people. There's at least one section of the crowd chanting that. I did see that. Lebanon, no power. Get your propane now. I can't thank Coral enough for sharing about Mr. Buddy Heater. I've got a little Buddy Heater. That doodle, it cooks too. It works well. Hey, Rob, good to see you. I'm so late talking to a member of my mag. What did I miss? We did chapters 11 through 15 of the book of Job, and now we're just hanging out, chatting, kind of catching up from the week. Gas stations in town near me out of gas, except one, and another only had premium. We haven't had any shortages that I've seen, but man, our prices are going up. You are right, Grammy. As much as I don't like Joe Biden as a believer in Christ, I cannot rejoice in the fact of the masses chanting F Biden. It's just plain sad is what is happening in this country. And you're absolutely right. But the part that is funny to me is how, and no matter where he goes, what state, I mean, there's always those people. And for him to still, or them to still stand firm that he won by 40 million votes, where are these people at? Where are you hiding them? Because they're clearly nowhere he goes. And still, even with that, you are absolutely right because, you know, 20 or 30 years ago, you wouldn't have had that way, I don't think. Let's see. Our gas here, well, last night I went and got gas. It was $3.29 a gallon. Big Chap, that's a new name. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Do you think it's going to come down to the jabbed versus the purebloods? If things don't change very soon, I absolutely think it could come to that. Big Chap, no, I think it will come down to people wanting freedom versus commie sense, and that as well. Very, very true. As Christians, we're supposed to pray for him. I struggle with it sometimes. That is a true statement as well, and it is hard when you know they're deliberately sinking everything we love intentionally, everything we hold dear. They're just letting it fall. Hey, Donna, good to see you. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to all of you guys in here. There's several of you in here. Papa, after talking with my friend, I realized I'm prepping for Revelations. Absolutely. Amen. It seems like they're trying to say the COVID numbers are coming down now because the people are fed up. Yeah, I mean, there's too many people that's just standing up and saying, no, I'm not doing it. Funny how even people that disagree with my beliefs still find common ground on hatred of erosion of rights. Because, I mean, when it comes down to that, I mean, that's one thing that that does bind us, that does make us because we're always going to be, spiritually segregated, believers, unbelievers, this doctrine, that doctrine, we're never, but freedom, our rights, everyone can agree on that. And that is one level, what you would think would be a level field that everyone would want to gather on, but you see where we're at today. So, Dr. Falsely said we can't have Thanksgiving or Christmas this. Yeah, I seen that. It's just too soon to tell. Yeah, we know where he's going with that. Papa, I hope you're less stressed and able to do the things. I've been doing quite a bit this week. I mean, considering I lost a couple days, but um, getting my garage in order, getting it winterized because, like I said before, I have a wood stove out there. So, worst case scenario, if we do lose power, grid down, we can at least have wood heat in the garage. Not the most wonderful living, whatever, but we could stay warm and cook on the wood stove. So, but I'm working on getting that together and um, actually pickled some banana peppers tonight. I'm getting some stuff done. They're saying we lost 18% of our medical people since COVID took place. That's on top of the shortages that were already there. I did see where New York has suspended the mandate on the healthcare workers pending a lawsuit that they filed. So now they can go back to work or resume working, keep working, whatever for right now. Big chap, you tell me and we'll both know. I have no idea how that man is still around. No idea. Well, I mean, we know why, but yeah, he's untouchable. Like just like the rest of them, he's absolutely untouchable. I did not hear about the recall on the canned beef. Winston, a ton of doctors and nurses quit because they won't take back, saying there's too much bad stuff in them. Yep. Let's see. Praise report. My 4-year-old granddaughter stayed with me last night. She woke up and decided to go home while I was asleep. Unlocked the door and left. Police found her before she got to busy street. Oh my goodness. I'm glad to hear they found her. Wow, that's scary. Clover Valley and Kroger brand and a few others are the brands. I'm gonna have to check into that. Papa and moderators, if you can find the recall on the canned boot. Oh, she's on it. Thank you. Lead in the spices in the gravy. Wow. I would imagine, Grammy, we went through several years of our daughter I mean, sleepwalking really bad. Like trying to get out the doors, unlocking the doors. She'd come in, just sit on the couch with one of her toys, sound asleep, uh, playing, and she'd sit and talk to you and just sound asleep. It's scary. Oh, and anybody that might have came in a little bit late, um, I haven't confirmed it yet, but I've got it from a couple different people that Augustin Farms is closing down for 90 days due to just running out of supplies. Said they're stopping because of inventory. So if it's, I'm telling you, I was looking on Amazon today right before the live stream, and the prices are skyrocketing. Like the 10 to $15 cans of biscuits that we was buying on sale are like $30 a can now. Thank you, Five. It is confirmed. Okay. So if there's anything you guys need in the way of that stuff, you better get it. Oh yeah, they're all going to skyrocket on costs. You're absolutely right, Fuller Grown. true news. Good thing I didn't crack any August in between paydays. I don't want food that can live longer than me anyways. I bet they're good. Okay. Mountain House, Backpackers Pantry, Ready Wise, and Harmony House are some others. So are you saying they're closing down too, Dawn? See, there's no happy median. Like, I either don't pay as close attention to the news and getting stuff done at home, and then I see stuff like this, and I'm like, what? Or I watch the news, nothing happens, and I fall behind. Good night, Jennifer. Thank you for being here. God bless you and yours, and stay safe out there. Kind of makes sense. Farmers were having to burn their crops. Absolutely. This whole thing is manufactured. The crop is too expensive to eat. Too many new people watched and went and panic bought. Same as ammo. You saw how that got. So there is a workaround. I don't doubt that for a minute. Pray for discernment. Absolutely. Cat head, cat heads, and rooster poots. I like that. Have you guys seen the folks talking that work at different places that if you've had the jab, you can no longer donate your plasma because it's not considered clean, usable plasma. Now, of course, that's not, you know, I've just seen it floating around. But the CDC says they can't use donated plasma if somebody's had the vax because it's unclean. Thank you, Northern Girl. Would the government take your home freeze-dried food? If you freeze-dried it at home, I don't think so. I think that would fall into the canning situation the same way. They can't take that. That's the pure blood race unifier I was speaking on. The Red Cross won't accept vaxxed plasma. My friend refused her kidney transplant. I seen another woman was denied a liver transplant because she was not vaccinated. Wow, in the beginning, they were wanting my sister to donate blood because she had COVID and antibodies. Papa asked the chat, what have they done this week for preps? It's a good question. At PMP, I have been reorganizing the shelves and doing the... where'd it go? First in, first out, and working on my dirt for next year. No man can have... I did little things, just making the chickens, the hen house bigger, and or getting it winterized, getting the garage ready for winter. Telling you what, this polar vortex coming back around's got me spooked because I remember last time it came to Indiana, it was cold. I mean, bad cold. And they're saying it could linger around here for up to 2 months, and Indiana's infrastructure is not built to withstand that extreme of cold temperatures for that long. So you best believe I'm getting the garage winterized for the wood heat. No man can have what God has given you. Absolutely. That's why you hit them where it hurts. If Fed's rolling down your driveway like you're a David Koresh, it's too late. True story. Guys, do not go to the hospital or ER unless it's absolutely life-threatening. Hospitals are the new Hotel California. I wouldn't argue with that. I would not argue with that at all. For preps, I keep ordering cat food because it gets harder and harder to obtain. I retired 2 days ago, so organization is this week's plan. That's awesome, Grammy. We've been doing, me and the girls did a lot of deep cleaning in the house this weekend too. We're getting ready, depending on what happens job wise. If RSD ends up moving in with us, because I mean, if I'm not there, if I lose my job, they have nobody else to send to take care of her. So it would be easier all the way around for her to just move in here. I'm laying the groundwork now for another pig enclosure and 2 more chicken coops. Hope it gets a little cooler soon. That's awesome, man. I'm working on it, German. If that polar vortex is coming, gotta have heat for the birds. If not, it will wipe them out. And mine are now have went into fall molting. I got 3 eggs yesterday. Don't buy into the fear or the news. We all know what needs doing. Keep your heads down and get stuff done and try to make sure you're set up so you don't fail. Absolutely. We all know, what we need for winter. I mean, that's not going to change unless you've moved to a different climate all the way around. Good night, Tamara. Thank you for being here. God bless you and yours, and be safe. Preps. All my extra money I have for preps are spent on 2A Freedom Seeds at this point. With Freedom Seeds, you have means to acquire food as well as protection. Absolutely. All right, guys. It's like 9 minutes till, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and. Is there any last prayer requests before I shut this down? My getting pretty sore. I just don't want to miss anybody. I guess that's a prayer request for Alicia Stone and husband and for prepper steading. Must have missed something. I heard there is no change as far as Alicia Stone. Okay. I have got them down, Chris. I just meant I'd like Florida to cool off a little. Makes it easier to work. I don't want that frigid weather on anyone. Oh, I agree. It is like crazy hot here for the middle of October. It is hard to get stuff done when it's just so hot. I think I'm just going to let nature kind of do its thing, German, um, because at this point for right now, we are more than okay with not having as many eggs. And with me being in there working and stuff, trying to get stuff situated to protect them as much as I can this winter, it's actually easier on me if the egg laying has decreased. So I'll probably just let it go naturally for right now. The stones are both on ventilators. Man. I'll make sure I didn't miss anybody here. All right. Most important thing is to not fear. They can only take what we let them, and they know it. Absolutely. You're very welcome, Flowgrown. I appreciate you being here, man. Absolutely pray for our country. Pray for the world. All right, guys. Um, I plan on doing a little bit of recording this week out in the garage. Keep you guys updated on what I'm doing out there and that I'm not just slacking. But till next time, guys, God bless y'all. I love you guys. Do whatever you can in the way of prepping this week and make it count. I mean, it's getting spooky out there, guys, even more so than usual. And I was telling Joe, I was talking to him earlier this evening, and a lot of people that don't fearmonger, that don't, just do it as you can, take your time. A lot of these channels and a lot of people that, absolutely do not fearmonger, they're saying get it done now. Get your stuff in order, and when those kind of folks start, really cracking the whip on getting stuff done, that we're running out of time. And I mean, take it however you want. But some of these guys that I watch or that I talk to, it's, definitely it's game time kind of thing. So just keep doing what you're doing, guys. I love y'all. God bless. Poppaprepper out.